You know, it's ironic that this movie actually has a cast big enough to fill the Nile. Kind of a perfect fit when you think about it.
It's too late to change events. It's time to face the consequence for delivering the proof in the policy of truth.
Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review Death on the Nile, the 2022 remake. Written and directed by Kenneth Brannagh, also starring Kenneth Brannagh in his second film as Hercule Poirot. If you remember, a few years ago, there was a Murder on the Orient Express remake that came out, and Kenneth Branagh directed that as well, and he also appeared as Poirot, and this is his second attempt. This movie has been delayed due to the COVID pandemic, but now it has finally been able to release. It was meant to come out something like almost 2 years ago. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a long old wait, but yeah, I'm sure they're glad to finally release this film. And a lot of you probably know the plot of this film anyway, but I'll just go over the brief synopsis for those who don't. And just for the record, I haven't actually seen any other versions of Death on the Nile. I may review the original 70s version at some point. While on vacation on the Nile, Hercule Poirot must investigate the murder of a young heiress. And essentially that's the plot. So, Death on the Nile, the remake. How is this movie? Well, you know, I didn't think a huge amount of Murder on the Orient Express. I thought it was fine. It was perfectly adequate. I mean, it had again, a sizable cast, and I feel like that's the kind of appeal with these movies, is to sensationalize the cast, the amount of people that are in the cast. There were so many people in the last film, and once again, there are so many people in this film. There really isn't much to say about Death on the Nile, other than, once again, it's good, it's adequate, it's decent, it's pleasant, but that's as far as it goes. This movie is not going to change your life, nor is it going to change the way you see the original film. It's just a pleasant, fun reimagining. I mean, in terms of the build-up and everything, it's all done quite well, and it's nice to get to know the characters, and some of the characters are quite interesting. And I do think this one may be slightly more enjoyable than the last film, just because, in terms of Murder on the Orient Express, with Brannagh, I think it's a little more enjoyable because, I don't know, I just thought that the setting was more vibrant and pleasant. The characters just seemed a little bit more interesting. But it is pretty much the same formula. It is a murder mystery. This time I thought the plot was just more fun. I don't think it's perfect, far from it. I think that it kind of does, it doesn't really do anything to invigorate or excite. Again, it doesn't change the way you see the original film or anything else. Well, Brannagh obviously wanted to play Poirot again, and, you know, he does a good job, and I think this time maybe he is a little bit better, actually. I think they've toned down the moustache, and there's also a bit of backstory at the beginning of the film as to what happened to Poirot during the war. And I thought the opening in black and white was done very well. I thought it was a nice opening. It was a surprise, and it seemed like this film was a bit more character-driven than the last one, because there were so many people in Murder on the Orient Express that they didn't really have the time to develop every single character. We obviously understood some of their motives for the big reveal, but this time it certainly felt more organic, and I think the cast in this film actually were better than the cast in the first film. I mean, this film is all about the cast, and as I've said, Brannagh is good as Poirot, and he does a good job directing the movie as well. He keeps the film moving. The pace of it's pretty good. It moves at a consistent pace, and I think Brannagh's direction is tight, it's solid. It's a little bit sharper than the Murder on the Orient Express. So we've got a huge cast. I'm not going to go over too many people because, well, there's a lot. We've got people like Tom Bateman, Annette Bening, Kenneth Brannagh, of course. Russell Brand is in this film as well, and he's actually pretty good. I'm not someone who's a huge fan of Russell Brand, but in this film, this might be his best performance that I've actually seen him in. He plays this doctor, and I think he does a rather decent job, actually. He was much better than I expected him to be. We've also got Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer, who play the married couple that kind of set off on their journey to the Nile with all the guests. And they're good. I think they do a good job. Gal Gadot is quite charming, actually, in this film, and it's nice to see her do a different role to Wonder Woman. Of course, that's the role that we most know her for. Rose Leslie is very good. Ali Fazal is also very good. Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders are in this film as well, with Saunders putting on an American accent for the first time, I think, in God knows how long. I'm not sure if I've heard her do that before, but yeah, she's very good. Sophie, Okonedo and Letitia Wright are very good. They play an auntie and niece who are like musical performers, and they do a good job in the film singing, and also they do some well, Letitia Wright does her American accent. I'm not sure. I think she's British as far as I'm aware. I mean, I might be wrong, but the accent was good, and it held up for most of the film, and her character is quite prominent to the story, and I thought it was a nice role for her, because we've seen her in the Marvel films, like with Black Panther, so it's nice to see her do something different as well. So I appreciate the utilization of the cast. And of course, once the big reveal scene happens, everybody who needs to be there is there, and I think they do a good job acting in this film. And the last person to mention is Emma Mackey, who plays Jacqueline de Belafort, who has some real personal axes to grind, shall we say. For me, some of the problems with this film, the CGI. I think the CGI is awful for this film. Seriously, what the hell is up with the green screen shots in this film? Like, when some characters are on the boat, the background, it looks very obvious that some of these scenes are shot in a studio when they're supposed to be at the Nile. I mean, some of the exterior shots look quite nice and beautiful, but there are these occasional moments where you do see a bit of CGI and it's kind of obvious. It's like, oh, yeah, it looks a little bit fake. So I don't know, they could have cleaned up some of the effects. I suppose the pace is quite slow to begin with when they set things up, and I thought the setup was good. And it moved along fairly consistently. I thought it moved along better than the Murder on the Orient Express film. Once again, nothing stands out about it, really. Nothing really stands out about it. It's well shot. The music is nice. I just think it's one of those films that you can watch, but only watch once. It's completely disposable. There's nothing about it that's groundbreaking. It's fine. It's perfectly adequate. It's fine. Like I said, the major issue is some of the technical aspects for me. The script is decent, to say the least. Some people may think that the end reveal is a little bit, like, blah, like, nah, but I thought it was okay. I thought they, sort of, the way the mystery unfolded, I thought, alright, okay, it kind of makes sense, I suppose, even if, you know, it's not the most invigorating of motivations, but again, it's fine for what it is. It's a harmless film. It's not going to do anything to upset or offend. It's just a pleasant watch. That's all. I've seen it once and I have no desire to see it again. Yeah. And in comparison to the previous film, like I said, maybe this one I give the slight edge to, but they're on a very similar level for me. So I'm going to give Death on the Nile 7 out of 10.
It's too late to change events. It's time to face the consequence for delivering the proof in the policy of truth.
I will try and see the original film and review that for you as well. But yeah, that's my review of Death on the Nile. What do you think of this film? Please comment down below. Let me know. Like I said, the main issue is some of the technical aspects are not great. There may be some other things, but again, nothing stands out about it. That's kind of another reason why I have to bunk the movie down. Despite the opening trying to give more character development, I just don't think it's entirely necessary to have this film. But if you want to have this version of the story, then by all means, go ahead. So, thank you very much all for watching this review, and stay tuned for more movie reviews to come in the future. I shall be reviewing Uncharted, which is out now. So, yeah. Thank you very much all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. Tarnas11. See ya. Bye for now.